The security architecture of the Indo-Pacific is undergoing a fundamental transformation as the timeline moves through 2026. For decades, the defensive strategy of Japan relied heavily on the interception of ballistic missiles following a predictable parabolic trajectory. However, the emergence of hypersonic glide vehicles, known as HGVs, has rendered traditional calculation models obsolete. These weapons travel at speeds exceeding Mach 5 while maintaining the ability to maneuver unpredictably at lower altitudes, specifically between 20 and 100 kilometers above sea level. This altitude band creates a significant strategic blind spot for existing radar and interception systems, which were primarily designed for threats outside the atmosphere or conventional aircraft within it. In response to this tactical deficit, the United States and Japan have initiated a historic collaboration to develop the Glide Phase Interceptor, a system designed to neutralize hypersonic threats during their most vulnerable phase of flight. The Glide Phase Interceptor program, commonly referred to as GPI, represents a departure from the traditional patron-client dynamic that has long characterized the defense trade between Washington and Tokyo. Under the formal agreement finalized in May 2024 between the Japanese Ministry of Defense and the United States Missile Defense Agency, Japan is no longer merely a purchaser of finished American hardware. Instead, the nation has assumed the role of a primary technological stakeholder and co-developer. This shift is substantiated by the selection of Northrop Grumman as the prime contractor for the United States, working in direct coordination with Mitsubishi Heavy Industries of Japan. The partnership aims to deliver a deployable capability by the mid-2030s, a timeline that underscores the urgency of the regional security environment. Technological sovereignty and industrial contribution form the core of the Japanese involvement in this project. The division of labor is specific and highlights the specialized engineering capabilities of the Japanese defense industry. While the United States focuses on the detection systems, including the seeker and the guidance command modules, Japan has been tasked with developing the propulsion systems. Specifically, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries is responsible for the rocket motors of the second and third stages of the interceptor. This is not a trivial manufacturing assignment, but a complex engineering challenge. Intercepting a hypersonic weapon that can change course mid-flight requires an interceptor that can manage its energy state with extreme precision. The propulsion system must possess the capability to reignite or throttle thrust to adjust the flight path of the interceptor in real time, a concept known as energy management. The Japanese aerospace sector has a proven track record in solid fuel rocket stability and efficiency, evidenced by the development of the SM-3 Block 2A collaborative missile and the domestic H-3 launch vehicle. By entrusting the propulsion components to Japanese engineers, the United States acknowledges that the specialized material science and chemical engineering capabilities of Japan are essential for the success of the weapon. This reality effectively elevates the status of the Japanese defense industry from a licensed manufacturer to a critical innovation hub within the global alliance network. The financial commitment from Tokyo further validates the strategic priority of this initiative. Initial funding allocations recorded in the fiscal budgets around 2024 and 2025 indicated an investment of roughly 73 billion Japanese yen toward development costs. This figure is expected to rise as the program transitions from the design phase to prototype testing. Critics within the Diet and financial analysts have pointed out the immense cost burden associated with such advanced weaponry. The unit cost of a single glide phase interceptor is projected to be significantly higher than current interceptors like the SM-3 or the Patriot PAC-3. For a nation balancing a commitment to increase defense spending to 2% of GDP against the pressures of an aging population and social welfare costs, the economic sustainability of mass-producing such high-end interceptors remains a subject of intense debate. From a tactical perspective, the deployment of the GPI will likely occur on Aegis-equipped destroyers, including the Maya and Haguro-class vessels of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force and the Arleigh Burke-class destroyers of the United States Navy. The interceptor is designed to fit within the standard vertical launch system cells, allowing for seamless integration into existing naval platforms without the need for extensive structural retrofitting. This interoperability suggests a future scenario where the operational boundaries between the two navies become increasingly porous. A Japanese destroyer positioned in the Sea of Japan could theoretically launch a GPI to intercept a missile threatening American assets in Guam, just as an American vessel could engage a threat targeting Tokyo. This creates a web of interdependence that serves as a stronger deterrent than any single platform. However, the program is not without significant technical and political risks. The engineering hurdles involved in engaging a target moving at hypersonic speeds are substantial. The interceptor must withstand extreme thermal friction while maintaining communication with the fire control network. A failure in the thermal protection system of the seeker, or a millisecond delay in the ignition of the Japanese-made rocket motors, would result in a mission failure. Furthermore, the export of this jointly developed technology raises legal and diplomatic questions. While the relaxation of the three principles on transfer of defense equipment and technology has paved the way for such collaboration, the potential transfer of the finished interceptor to third parties by the United States could spark constitutional debates within Japan regarding the pacifist stance of the nation. Moreover, the reliance on a complex cross-border supply chain introduces vulnerabilities. The synchronization between Northrop Grumman in the United States and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries in Japan requires robust cybersecurity protocols to prevent sensitive technical data from being compromised by state-sponsored espionage. The industrial security standards must be harmonized, forcing Japanese contractors to adopt the stringent cybersecurity maturity model certifications required by the United States Department of Defense. This adds a layer of administrative friction and cost to the development cycle. Despite these challenges, the Glide Phase Interceptor program signifies a maturity in the alliance. It moves beyond the concept of the United States as the spear and Japan as the shield. By providing the propulsion technology that powers the interceptor, Japan is literally and figuratively driving the defense capability of the alliance. The success of the GPI will depend not only on the thrust-to-weight ratio of the engines or the sensitivity of the infrared seekers, but also on the ability of two distinct industrial cultures to merge their strengths. If successful, the project will provide a credible counterweight to the hypersonic arsenals currently being amassed by regional competitors, restoring a measure of strategic equilibrium to the Indo-Pacific. The outcome of this endeavor will determine whether the technological alliance can evolve fast enough to meet the velocity of modern warfare.